Hi everyone, it's Jan Romano from Mass Higher Metro North Career Center from Cambridge and Woburn. We do our training, and since we're doing training remotely, I'm joining you today to teach you Twitter. It's a part 2 series. We're going to talk about searching and following on Twitter. So we're going to start just making sure that you know who I am. Again, Jan Romano, Mass Higher Metro North Career Center. I've been with them for many years when they were under a different name as well. So I've been in career services for about 15 years and plus, and I'm happy to teach you Microsoft Office and also social media as much as I can here at Mass Higher. So I'm happy to have you today. And we're going to go over, like I mentioned, Twitter and some of the screen elements, how to search, follow, followers. Now tweets, retweets, and hashtags are going to be in my part 3, but they all kind of tie together, so you might hear me talking about them a little bit, but I will have a part 3 and we'll go over those as well. And these are Twitter basics. These are basics that you should know. Now I hope you watched our part 1 because we went over how to create an account and why using Twitter is so important for your digital footprint, for your online professional presence. And we focus at Mass Higher on our job seekers. So we're using Twitter not to promote our own personal opinions, but in order to present ourselves in a professional manner. So that's our goal today. So we're going to start off with some of the Twitter basics. I mentioned before in my first video about Twitter terms. In Twitterville, you'll hear Tweetsville, you'll hear Twitterville. Twitter is a software package that obviously internet-based that we're able to use to communicate to others and to form networks with the millions of people and billions of people that are on Twitter. We can search and find topics on Twitter. We can connect with others by following them, and they can follow us. We can also tweet, and tweet means to basically post. And so some of the terminology is going to be very important for you to understand as you're working your way through Twitter. So notice we're looking at tweet, Twitter handle, retweet, follow, followers, hashtags. So you're going to, each section, you're going to learn a little bit more about these Twitter terms. And here we go. So our Twitter account is all up and running. So I'm going to go up and bring down my Twitter account that is already filled in. So we talked about creating a profile the last time. And when we bring up the Twitter account, you'll see in just a moment these buttons. So tweet, home, explore, notifications, messages, bookmarks, lists, profile, more. So where are those buttons? I'm going to come down and find my Twitter account. There I am. So my Twitter account is all created, but I want you to look on the left-hand side. These are the buttons that I had on that PowerPoint presentation. These are the buttons that are going to help us look at certain areas in Twitter. So for example, if I click on home, these are going to be all of the tweets that are going to pop up from people that and companies that I follow. And so what are they tweeting about? 25 minutes ago, Work It Daily put a tweet about some phone interview information. Again, another Work It Daily 1 hour ago, and then eSkill 54 minutes ago. So this is where I can come and read the tweets of the people that I've followed and the companies that I've followed that influence me, that maybe that I want to work for, that maybe I want to know what people are saying. So I have followed them. So we're going to talk about following quite a bit today. We're going to talk about how to search for people to follow. So notice the home is one place, and notice the search button up here in the right-hand corner. So I can stay in home and search, or I can go back to my profile. And my profile, remember, was my photo, my background picture, my name, my username, my bio, my location, so I have Boston, my URL for LinkedIn I put, and how many people that I am following and how many followers do I have. Now I use this for training purposes. So I typically will teach in the career centers in Woburn and in Cambridge. And so I don't use this for personal use. I use this for professional use. So I'm not following a lot because I'm demonstrating it in a classroom and then sometimes deleting them after I do it. So notice 167 following that I have. So those are people and companies that I follow. And I have 51 followers at this time. So let's talk about that a little bit further. And once you build your account, you should start searching for companies and people that you want to follow. So I'm going to jump back to my PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to talk about searching and following. So your account is created. You should start searching for people and companies, like I mentioned, to follow. Well, it's easy to search, and I'll demonstrate that very soon. But what is following? So when I follow, I find a company that I might want to work for and follow. And what happens is when I do that, I'm actually saying to that company that I'd like to see your tweets, that company's tweets on my homepage. I'm also saying to them that I'd like to be a part of their Twitter database. And so my name goes into a Twitter database associated with that company. So they look at that Twitter database. There's somebody within the company that probably monitors that, and they'll see Jen Romano, and they'll click typically on my Twitter account to see who I am. And that's going to help me network with people. That's going to help me be found by companies that I might want to work for, and possibly maybe they'll, reach out to me through either a direct message or maybe through my email or through my LinkedIn, because I put that as my website. So I'm going to be able to follow. Now, there are going to be times where I'm going to decide, oh, I shouldn't have followed that particular maybe movie star, because now I'm looking at Twitter for a professional use and I need to unfollow. So we'll talk about unfollowing, and we'll also talk about how do I know who I am following. So let's first go back to our account, which is my account, of course, and let's talk about finding companies to follow, especially if it's a company that I want to work for. Now, I do want you to understand that a lot of the companies that are on Twitter, they have typically one or two or even more accounts, one for typically their home page for their company, and one for maybe careers or for jobs. So I could find companies and their career pages and follow both of their Twitter accounts. So I'm going to click up here in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to click for a company, type in a company that I would like to search for. And let's say I type in MassHire, Metro North, Career Center, and let's see if I can find them on Twitter. So now I want you to notice that I also find tweets that people have tweeted with, if you can see this right here, MassHire Metro North Career Center in their tweets. So I can come down and I can find Tufts and MassHire Metro North Workforce Board. Keep coming down. And so maybe I want to follow them. Now I'm going to click on them, and I want you to notice there is a unfollow follow button. As I push my mouse towards it, you'll see I'm already following the MassHire Metro North Workforce Board. That means that every time they tweet, I will get their tweets on my homepage. Now I can always unfollow, and there's no notification to MassHire that I've unfollowed them, but I can decide who I want to follow. So when I click on follow, I'm able to then see their tweets on my homepage, as well as my name goes into how many people that are following them. So I want you to notice 121 followers, and I'm one of those people that follow MassHire Metro North Workforce Board. And there are other MassHire Metro North probably websites, and I can keep coming down and taking a look, but that's how I'm going to find companies. Now, let's say I wanted to find a person. Now I'm going to choose Bill Gates and type in Bill Gates and hit enter. And I want you to notice this is not Bill Gates's account, but this is Bill Gates' account. And there's a couple of reasons why I know that is because definitely his picture is that, but there's also a badge here. We call that a verification badge. And LinkedIn will take famous people and verify if that's really their account through a process of application. And right now those applications are stalled. They're not doing that at this moment, but they can typically take an entertainer, a large sports person, a singer, someone that is famous, and look at their Twitter account and occasionally go and give them a badge that says, yes, that's them. So Bill Gates is somebody I'm interested in seeing what he has to say. So I also follow Bill Gates, and you can notice that I'm already following, but I would just click on the follow button. And I want you to notice 49.7 million followers Bill Gates has. So that's a lot of people, and I'm in there. And if he wants to look at those followers, which some people will look at Bill Gates's followers to see who else is following Bill Gates, they'll see me there. And they might want to click on me in Twitter to see what my profile looks like. And that's the rationing, the understanding of LinkedIn as well as Twitter, because they're both social media sites and they're kind of tied together in a sense where you want to put in a professional presence on each one of them. But that's what you're doing on Twitter is you're searching for companies, you're searching for people that are influencers that you would like to follow. Now, when someone looks at my account, whether it's a hiring manager or a recruiter, they can see who I follow by clicking on this following button right here. So I'm going to show you who I follow as well. And because I'm a trainer, I will follow a lot of job sites because I train people to reskill and hopefully get a new job. I'm in the Boston area, so I might follow some Boston sites and companies, so Bose to see if they're hiring, and LinkedIn and Monster and Indeed, they have Twitter accounts as well, so I follow that. There's Bill Gates that I'm following, and on the list goes. So I can see who I am following by just clicking on that button. Remember, I was in my profile. I came right down here underneath my information and I clicked on following. And anytime I want to unfollow, I can just click on unfollow. Okay, it's that simple. Now let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. And let's talk about, as a job seeker, who you might want to follow. And I've already mentioned some of these, but following companies that are of interest to you, following employees in those companies, potential networking contacts, recruiters and industry leaders, following trends. So I can type in a trend or a topic that I'm interested in Twitter and find the many people who have accounts on Twitter that are talking about that particular topic. I can follow hiring decision makers and follow people who influence me. So those are some ideas on who you might follow. Now, should you get followers? Well, sometimes you get followers without even knowing it because people are gracious or they're interested and they want to follow. Well, how do I get followers? Can I ask people to follow me? You can, but typically this is how you're going to get followers. You're going to compose interesting or thought-provoking tweets that make people think, but that are professional and may be related to your industry. Asking questions within your tweets. Now, I know you don't know what to tweet yet or how to tweet really, but again, this is how you get followers. You're going to be posting questions about certain topics that are in your industry, or you're going to be, and again, we call it tweeting. In LinkedIn, we call it posting, but you're going to be able to tweet maybe that you are a job seeker, or that I'm an instructor who will teach you Microsoft Office and join me in these classes, or connect with me on LinkedIn, or find me at such and such at gmail.com. And so I can tweet that. So that way there people are, oh, this is Jan Romano. Maybe they're interested in following me. Tweet often and at the right times of the day. So every day, 3 times a day, they say morning, noon, and night. Find something to tweet about, especially professionally in your industry. We're going to, in our next section, talk about hashtags in front of keywords, which are going to get you noticed a little bit more. But notice, you want to find people and follow people and companies with similar interests, and then follow their followers. As I mentioned with Bill Gates, I could look at his followers and see who's in there and follow them. Follow companies and people who work in those companies. And we mentioned that before as well, and that's a great way of building a network as well. Now, can you see who's following you? Yes, you can. So I'm going to go back out to my account, and I'm going to show you right here the 51 followers that I have. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to show you that these are people that are followers of, so they follow me, and I can follow them back if I don't follow them back. Now, if I'm not sure who somebody is, I could click on their account. Let's say I'm not sure who Sarah is. I do know who she is, but let's use her as an example. I'll click on Sarah, and say, for example, I look at her tweets and I say, you know what? She followed me. That was great, but I don't feel like it's a good resource for me. So what I can do is click on this More button, and I can use something called block. Now, it sounds a little drastic, but block means that I've decided that I don't want her to follow me, and so I block her. Now, just in case she was really doing some tweets that were inappropriate and I didn't really want to be associated with that, again, blocking is the way to do it. I can also add or remove her from any list that I might have as well. So I'm going to go back to my profile and let's review. I came up here into the search bar. I searched for a company. I searched for a person. And remember, you can search for a topic as well. And whatever that topic might be that your industry is in or that you are interested in. So it can be anything at all. So let's say I'm interested in writing and I want to hit enter. And there are going to be many people who are creating tweets that have the word writing in it. So it's pretty broad, isn't it? Especially that word writing. Resume writing. Oh, let me take a look at this person. LinkedIn resume writing. This is great. I might want to follow them because I teach LinkedIn, and I might want to be able to tell people that this person, if I read a little bit further and get a little bit more knowledge about them, I might want to follow them. So all I do is click follow, and now they will have my name in their followers group. How does that affect me? Remember, I now have 168 people and places and companies that I'm following. And every time they tweet, it's going to come on my home page. So I'm going to click on my home page, and I'm going to be able to see what people are tweeting. That was 2 minutes ago and 10 minutes ago. So I follow TED Talks because I think all of those are pretty interesting and good to read. And all this information has just recently come in to my Twitter feed, we call it, and that's my homepage. So I'll go back to my profile. So you are trying to build a network of people that you can tweet about yourself and that you're job seeking possibly, or what services you can offer. And that's going to be our part 3 series. So right now we finished basically our part 2 series about who is following me and who can I follow and how to search for them. Well, I wanted to put some resources out there for you. In JobScan, in Twitter Help Center, and Work It Daily are some great websites, and there are certainly more websites that you might want to visit, especially the Twitter Help Center, because it has an frequently asked questions section that you can certainly find all of the answers to any of your questions at. So use resources and find more information out if you need to, and look for part 3, which is going to be next, and we're going to be doing tweets and who can see our tweets and what should we tweet about, especially as a job seeker. So thank you very much. My name is Jan Romano, and thank you for watching this video. We are Mass Higher Metro North. We do have a YouTube channel, as you might be watching this from. We also have a website. So it's www.masshighermncareers.com. So find us there. And hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial on following, searching, and being followed on Twitter. Thank you.